This boy is a genius. He has the most intelligent brain in the world. Before he graduated from university, he got kinds of offers from many big companies. Both of them provided him attractive salary and benefits.
We can offer you is a $400,000 starting salary.
Corner office.
Shares in the company.
Team working under you.
Faced with such attractive conditions, the boy refused without thinking about it, because his interest was not to make money. One day, the boy received an anonymous message, which said, "I am the opportunity of a lifetime." Driven by curiosity, he walked into a bar. An old man with white beard was waiting for him. The old man's name was Walter, the boss of a salvage company. Not long ago, he salvaged an old treasure chest in Spanish Sea areas. It said that there are 3 coins in it. The rescuers risked their lives and salvaged the treasure chest, but before they could celebrate, they were surrounded by the Spanish customers. They confiscated the treasure chest in the name of the state and locked it in the underground vault of the Spanish bank. The Spanish bank is one of the hardest buildings to invade in the world. Each space was covered with cameras and sensors. Any unauthorized action will cause 15 guards inside to shoot quickly, and across the street is the headquarters of the Spanish army. What's more, the bank's chief of security is the former chief of anti-terrorist forces. He is bloodless and cruel. It's not over yet. The vault is the most difficult part. It was built in the 19th century. Its structure and working principle have been an unsolved mystery. It was called the miracle of engineering by the media at that time. However, the boy was a genius, majoring in engineering. This is the reason why Walter found him and wanted him to steal the treasure box. Without the boy's reply, Walter left a ticket to Madrid on the table and then turned away. As expected, the boy was touched and took the plane to Spain. At the same time, Walter had set up a top team. Lorraine is a stunning thief. He used her beauty to divert the attention, then steal the things instantly. James is a former member of Marine, escorting the operation, and Simon is the man who can get anything. At last, Klaus is a top hacker who can hack into all security systems. Walter's plan is like this. First step is to make full preparations. Send someone to guise as a cleaner and sneak into the bank. Scan the structure of the vault with a magnetic scanner so that they can get it back for analysis. Then they need 2 keys and the fingerprint of the supervisor. These 2 tasks are not easy. They are the key to access the vault. Fortunately, they have Lorraine. She is a top thief, disguised as an art expert. By shaking hands with people, she handed the coffee to the security chief and easily get the fingerprints of him. Then she went into the president's office, packed the coffee cup with fingerprints, took out the ultraviolet lamp, and began to quickly scan the famous paintings. Klaus recorded Lorraine's movement and then played it at 0.1 speed to replace the bank's surveillance video, so they can get 2.5 minutes. Lorraine quickly found the safety box and used something like a stethoscope to open the box, and she took the keys inside. She scanned it with holographic laser, so they could use 3D printer to print out exactly the same thing. When she was going to put back the key, the president just came in.
Sure, but this has to do with your coming exhibit, Miss Valenti.
I cannot please the artist.
She quickly chatted with the president, but it still was a crisis if the president suddenly appeared in the monitor. She had an idea and asked the president to take a work photo for her. She let the president keep moving backward and finally withdrew from the monitor at the last second. On the other side, the boy entered the conference room in front of the vault. He hid under the table, took out a magnetometer, and started to scan the structure of the vault. But just scanned half, a group of people came into for a meeting. The boy was so nervous, and the scanner was also stuck. If he increased the energy, the alarm will be triggered. The boy had no time to think about, so he decided to put all his eggs on basket. The whole bank immediately entered a state of alert. All the people were called to the hall, and the army also quickly surrounded the bank. Lorraine had no time to put the second key back, so she had to retreat with it. Not only the boy was in the blind spot, she threw the key to the boy and he ran upstairs quickly to put the key back into the safety box. Just then, a guard came in.
¿Pero qué coño estás haciendo aquí?
Joder, qué susto. Hostias, ¿qué pasa? Con los cascos no me había enterado de la movida.
Tira para afuera.
The boy's authentic Spanish didn't arouse the guard's suspicion. Even Walter was so surprised by his intelligence, calmness, and language talent. They finally got 2 keys and the structure of the vault. But strangely, their part of the structure was weak and could not be focused. It soon occurred to him that the further part should be water. Sure enough, below the vault is a huge weighing scale. As long as there is a little weight change, it will trigger the mechanism. As long as someone entered illegally, it would open the gate and let the thief drawn alive. The next key is to crack the trigger mechanism. The vault was built more than 70 years ago. There was no infrared and motion sensors. So how can they get into the vault and take the things they want without changing the weight? This problem bothered him for a long time. He got inspiration one day when he went to a bar to relax. Then the boy took a scale, put a glass of water on it, and the scale showed the index, and then he sprayed it with nitrogen. Next is the moment to witness the miracle. The nitrogen froze the scale and temporarily lost its function. Walter decided to take action after 4 days because that day was the final of the World Cup in South Africa. Countless people will watch the game on the big screen outside the bank. They choose to sneak into the safest bank in the world on the day of World Cup final. They quickly slide down from the glass dome into the bank, but they only have 105 minutes. With the help of hackers, they eluded the guard and moved along the ventilation pipe to the vault. They finally came to the entrance of the vault, but the huge gap in front of them blocked their steps. With 46 minutes left, James pulled out two folding ladders from his bag, connected and stretched them at both ends, and turned them into a simple bridge. But they were not strong enough. It got loose in the middle of the climb. Fortunately, as a former member of Marine, he jumped up and grabbed the boy's hand. They finally stood outside the vault. Lorraine and the boy each took out a key, and James took a forged fingerprint. With 3 points, the door opened. Treasure boxes were there. None of them dared to move forward because there is a huge skill under the vault. At this time, Simon was fully armed and sprayed the nitrogen to the base of the vault. If the temperature fast cooling, the skill will temporarily not work. After sprayed 50 cans, the whole base was frozen. But the floor of the vault didn't change at all. James said it still have time to give up, and just when they turned to leave, air conditioning came out of the floor, freezing and spreading. The boy walked into the vault very cautiously. He stood in the middle of the vault and didn't trigger the mechanism. Time is running out. They quickly searched for the treasure in the box. Soon Lorraine got the treasure box and was about to leave. She was stopped by James, and he took out his gun and forced Lorraine to hand over the treasure chest. However, the ice began to melt. The skill was gradually worked and triggered the alarm. The army rushed through the crowd and into the bank. At the same time, the water gate on the wall opened automatically, and a lot of water poured in from all directions. James was a good diver. He took off his clothes and swam out of the gate. At the critical moment, the boy's brain was running fast. There must be a mechanism to stop the water injection. Otherwise, the vault will be burst. All of a sudden, they quickly asked Simon to put the nitrogen tank on the scale. The original key point is still weight. As long as the weight is large enough, expected, the gate was closed. When the safety chief arrived at the vault, there was no one inside. It turns out that the boy and Lorraine had climbed out of the ventilation pipe. They rushed into the crowd, took off their coats, and showed their Spanish jersey, perfectly hiding in the crowd fans. Although they successfully escaped, the task was still failed because of James' betrayal, but Walter still smiled. He had already noticed that James had a problem. He forged 3 coins in advance and gave them to Lorraine, so James got the fake coins. Klaus input the coordinate to the computer. After seeing the location, Walter was silent. It seems that if they want to get the treasure, they have to try again.
Miss Vogel?
Yes,
Welcome to the Bank of England.
thank you.